What is up, guys? Mr. Rasmussen here. I hope everyone has had an absolutely amazing summer. My summer has been phenomenal. Part of what has made it so great is I was able to read the entire Michael Vey series. Well, books 1 through 7, that's the whole series to me. Books 8 and onward are a different series. It's a continuation of the series, but different, okay? So I read books 1 through 7. Today I'm going to give the definitive ranking of Michael Vey, books 1 through 7. So there will be some spoilers. If you're someone who would rather not know anything about the series before you start reading it, go ahead and exit out of this video now. But if you're someone who's just not going to read this book at all or ever in the future, just go ahead and stay tuned. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about each book. No major or really big spoilers to come. So let's get into it, starting off with book 1, Prisoner of Cell 25. This book was good, but not a great start to the series. They spend like half the book shopping, okay? I didn't love that. I would have rather seen the powers, the battles, the captures, the rescues, okay? But instead, I got shopping. So for that, book 1, Prisoner of Cell 25, gets ranked number 5 on my list. Moving on to book 2, Rise of the Elgen. This book was awesome! Okay, this book, what really makes me love this book is how they start to set up Dr. Hatch as being the most evil of the evil, okay? He ends up being the baddest of the bad. In book 1, you really didn't have a strong grasp of what his goals were, what his ambition were, what he was really trying to do. Dr. Hatch is trying to take over the world, okay? We didn't understand that in book 1. In book 2, we start to realize that. We start to see the powers start to develop a little bit more. It's super fast-paced. We get one of the most amazing moments of the entire series when Zeus sacrifices himself to save the team. But then Jack, who's been fighting and at Zeus's throat this entire book, Jack and Zeus have been fighting this whole book over in a love triangle between them and Abigail. But Jack also sacrifices himself to save Zeus, and it's just such an amazing moment. It makes me love Jack moving forward. There really wasn't anything that I disliked about this book. So book 2, Rise of the Elgen, gets ranked at number 3 on my list. Okay, moving forward to book 3, Battle of the Ampere. This book has a super strong first half because book 2 ends with a cliffhanger. And it's like a seamless transition into book 3. And I breezed through the first half of this book. The second half wasn't quite as strong. But what I really liked about this book is I started to empathize more with the characters. There's a moment where Ian, Zeus, Abby, and Tessa decide that they're going to split off from the Electro Clan, okay? They are exhausted of fighting and running from the Elgen up to this point. Up to this point, it's been their entire lives, okay? So they are just exhausted, whereas Michael and Taylor and Austin, they are just barely coming into this fight. But these other characters, this has been their whole life up to this point. They want to just spend a few years of their life living a little stress-free and away from having all the responsibility and the fight against the Elgen. And this moment just made me really love and humanize the characters more. I really love that about this part in this book. They do end up coming back. It's not because they're cowardly that they decide to break off. It's just because they're exhausted from this battle that they've had their entire lives. And so I really appreciated that about this book. Overall, though, wasn't quite as strong as book 2. So Battle of the Ampere I rank at number 4 on my list. Okay, book 4, Hunt for Jade Dragon. This book was a filler book. This book did not need to be part of the series, okay? When I think about it, this book could be taken out. You could read every single book except for book 4, and you'd probably still be okay. This book took me the longest time to get through out of all the other books in the series. This book starts out a lot different than the other books. Instead of having the fast pace, stress and chase and rescues and captures, this book starts out with them living at Timepiece Ranch. They stay there for a super long time and nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens with the plot while they're at Timepiece Ranch. I do empathize and feel good that the team gets to have a little bit of a break, that they get to kind of breathe for just a moment. But nothing happens in the story. So I really didn't enjoy that. The one part that I did enjoy was probably the last fourth of this book, the last 25%, because we end up seeing a nice unexpected twist in the story. And that is the only redeeming part of Hunt for Jade Dragon. So for those reasons, I rank book number 4 at number 6 on my list. Okay, book 5, Storm of Lightning. This book is really, really, really good. It has a very strong beginning, middle, and end. I never had to force myself through any of the chapters. Everything is moving smoothly. It starts to bring up some questions or plot holes that maybe you hadn't considered or maybe had been in the back of your mind up to this point. And it's really starting to bring the whole story together. At the end of the book, we see the Elgen take over the island nation of Tuvalu. Things are really starting to heat up and get very serious. I love this book. This book gets ranked at number 2 on my list. I'm going to skip book 6 to now and go to the final book, book 7, The Final Spark. This book was not good, okay? Michael Vey, the main character, right there on the name of the series. Michael is not in this book until the last 10%, maybe 5% of this book. How do you have a book where your main character is not in the story? It makes no sense to me. This book could have been summed up, could have been like half as long as it was. There was just some problems with it. I didn't love things about this book. For me, this was the worst book in the series. I rank this at number 7. Okay, now book 6, Fall of Hades. There's only one spot left, and this is the definitive best book in the Michael Vey series. No question about it. This book has the best action, the best battles, the best twists and turns. New allies are formed. The Hatch's glows are starting to fracture and turn against him. It has the most amazing plot as it's moving forward, and the absolute most best ending possible. Okay, I absolutely loved book 6. It was amazing. It's really, the series could have ended with book 6, like maybe just a few chapters past the end of this book, and it would have ended perfectly, in my opinion. This book gives us probably the most iconic moment of the entire series as Michael Vey starts to climb up this radio tower, as you see here, reaches forth his hand and tries to basically grab lightning and summon the power of a full lightning strike, okay? It's absolutely incredible. It's awesome. I love the ways that the powers are used in this book. And I just loved everything about it. So there you have it, guys. The definitive ranking of the Michael Vey series. If you like to read, if you like fast-paced action novels, I would highly recommend this series. I really enjoyed it. There are some hard parts to get through, but overall, as a series, I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5 stars. So thanks for watching today, and I'll see you guys in class or some other time.